Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today we're going to be reacting to Stephen A. on the Nets allowing Kyrie to play road games.
Is this the right move to bring Kyrie back?
No, it isn't. I think it's a horrible move. I think it's a disgraceful move. I think that Nets ownership is incredibly disappointing, and I think that the league should intervene. I want to put this out there, and I want to be very, very clear about where I stand. I'm open to the league invoking its best interest of the game clause and mandating that everybody be vaccinated in some capacity. Now, I don't give a damn what you got to do, whether it's Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, whether it's talking to Aaron Rodgers and finding out what being immunized is all about, whether it's something that Kyrie is exploring with the Canadian government, whatever complies.
Why is this other nigga so strict? Oh, my bad. I was thinking it out loud. That nigga is staring at my soul.
Yo, why you mad, bro? Dang.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared of him.
That ultimately stipulates that you are indeed vaccinated. I think that that is something that should be mandated. This is a global health crisis. This is a pandemic. You know, your privacy, your medical history and all of that other stuff, that's private. That's true. But whether or not you have COVID-19 is not a private matter when you have the ability to be contaminated. I wasn't out partying. I wasn't acting up. I didn't sit up there and overexpose myself to anything. This stuff can happen to you just standing in front of somebody's face, for crying out loud. And to have to watch the Brooklyn Nets reverse course and take this position is one of the most shameful things I think they could have ever done. And I'll go a step further. One of the last people in the world who's worth it is Kyrie Irving.
One of the last people that's worth it. Now, just for some context, a couple months ago, the Brooklyn Nets made an announcement that they're not going to have Kyrie play the road games. Now, due to the rules of New York, apparently he was allowed to play road games even if he wasn't vaccinated. The whole he can't play New York thing is because of a state mandate. However, the Brooklyn Nets took it a step further and said, yo, you're not going to half-ass this season. You're not going to play any of the games. It's just you're gonna sit it out. However, according to this video, they have reversed that, and now they're saying that Kyrie is allowed to play road games as well. Now, for some more context, literally a day after this, he went to health and safety protocols. So there's that. But let's just keep watching. Let's see what they have to say.
Let me preface my comments by saying this: Kyrie Irving is a superstar. Kyrie Irving is box office. I would pay Kyrie Irving $50 million a year. He's worth it as a talent.
Hey, Sage, 50 a mil? I can't do 50 a mil.
Yeah, you ain't winning no rings.
50 a mil to play 50 games a year? That's crazy.
You paying someone else 50 mil? If Kyrie the only motherfucker you paying 50 mil, GG's.
I want to announce to the world today, I think that anybody who gives Kyrie Irving more than a one-year deal at a time are the stupidest people on the planet. He would never get another long-term deal from me because he can't be trusted. This man finds every excuse not to show up to work. This man finds every excuse under the sun not to play basketball unless he wants to. I'm not accusing him of not working hard.
All right, let's analyze that. You say he finds every excuse not to play basketball. Let's bring it back. Sage, how many examples are there? Because I'm thinking off the top of my head, 2018 injury. 2017, he asked for a trade after the finals. 2019, he played and just played like 2020, injury. 2021, injury. The bubble year, he was advocating for the whole bubble or not. It didn't matter because one, he was injured, and two, they weren't, I think they were like a 9th seed or a 10th seed. They didn't make the playoffs anyways. What are these excuses? When does he miss games because of these quote-unquote excuses?
Yeah, I was nervous me and you were about to disagree for a second. Rather than looking for excuses, y'all going AD, the dude's just as, if not more, injury prone, I'd even argue, than Anthony Davis. The dude is just not there. And that's not something where, if you're going to factor that in, fine, but the connotation Stephen A is addressing is that he just doesn't want to play rather than he can't play. And that's a huge difference when you're labeling that on the player. The only times I remember Kyrie Irving, and I could be wrong, but the only times I remember Kyrie Irving not wanting to play was when the bubble first was created and he was like, yo, what are y'all doing? This is not the right time. And obviously right now. I mean, granted, those three examples potentially were all in the same room, but I don't see this Kyrie Irving just not wanting to play basketball thing. I just think Kyrie's a dude with morals. and he gonna live and die by the morals rather than just not trying to play basketball. I think that's a bit extreme, but I'm an energetic extreme person myself, so I ain't mad at it.
Not going out there, Legler, and putting forth his due diligence to be in shape, to be ready. That's not what I'm accusing him of. I'm saying he believes people are beneath him. He believes he's the high road guy. That
When has he ever
looks
said
down
that?
on people.
I don't like that. I'm sorry to pause again, but I don't like that. I don't like that. The only time I got that vibe from Kyrie was when I was a First Take fanboy and he came up on there and it was like he just didn't fuck with Max. If you guys know about the episode, talk about comment below. But he did just refuse to talk to Max for real. And he was just answering everything with Stephen A, but he was clearly lying. That's the only time I got that. And even then, he was like fresh from Braun. Probably had Braun like, okay, when you talk to them, don't talk like this, don't talk like that. Kyrie was a kid. Like, let's remember, Kyrie's not old. He's like 28, 29. Kyrie's not an old man, especially back then. He was like 24.
He wants to do things by his rules and regulations. He doesn't want to capitulate to anything. And he believes that anybody who does got something wrong with them instead of looking at himself. The Brooklyn Nets know this. And you would make this concession? I don't want to hear about bodies flying and as a result you're trying to win a championship. And so, you know what? We need Kyrie Irving. Well, suppose you playing against a team that plays in a city that has that mandate. Suppose that mandate is adopted by other cities. We can't rule out that possibility in the weeks and the months to come due to the Omicron and the Delta variant. We can't rule these things out. There's no telling what kind of stipulations or restrictions are going to be implemented in the days, weeks, and months to come that could potentially prohibit him from playing basketball. So at the end of the day, if you're the National Basketball Association, which I'm sure agrees with me, and you're the Brooklyn Nets in particular, to make this capitulation, to make this concession for him, who, by the way,
Big
was away
words.
from basketball for 10 months before coming back for 2 weeks last year, and then the riots at the U.S. Capitol took place, and he was traumatized and needed time away from basketball.
Wait. Are they talking about the same riot, or am I tripping? Are you talking about that weak ass riot that had like 40 people outside of the park? Is that?
No, he's talking about the Capitol shit. I think.
Okay, that's different. I'm about to say, if you talking about that weak ass Barclays one that trended, what the fuck? Was he traumatized? That nigga's a liar.
Stephen A has made a lot of comments about people's mental health recently. I don't know if you guys have watched that Ben Simmons video we reacted to a couple days ago, but he's been saying a lot of shit about a lot of people's mental health recently, and I'm just not fucking with it, bro, because people react to different shit in different ways, and if Kyrie thinks, certain events impact him to something bigger than basketball, I don't blame him. Look, mental health is real, and if you need to take a week off in the regular season, in the 82-game regular season, take 5 off. You guys are gonna be fine. Bro, you got KD, you got James Harden. It's going to be about the playoffs anyways. It's not really that big of a deal. And I think even last season when it came down to it, bro, it came down to injuries in the playoffs. It wasn't because, Kyrie really fucked up the chemistry. That's not what happened.
They get back the money. Still expected to be paid. This is the Kyrie Irving that we're talking about. So for me, the fact that that they reversed course on this is egregious and disgusting, to be quite honest with you. But what makes it even more so that way is that they did it for him, because he's the last person in the world who deserves it. Not as a talent. As a talent, Jesus, he deserves Christ. All of it.
He's on dick.
But
he's on
as
dick.
somebody who is trustworthy, hell no. He's the last person that you should make this kind of concession for. And the Brooklyn Nets, in my opinion, were rude today. They made this decision.
I just want to say, and I'm being petty here, but I know somebody in the comments is going to do it, and I'm going to be right there with you, bro. Last is a crazy word. Bezos brought him up earlier. A guy like Benjamin Simmons right now, I'm paying Kyrie before I'm paying Ben. I'm sorry, I just am.
Stephen A., you laid out the case perfectly about everything that Kyrie Irving represents and why they should make this decision for him. So I'm just to add to it a little bit. Here's where I have such a problem with it.
Not to piggyback.
When you compromise your principles and your integrity as an organization for what you are supposed to represent and what this is supposed to be about, and what team sports are supposed to be about. Because to me, from the beginning, to think that you could allow a guy to just show up, play on the road, not practice with you, not play home games, not be a part of everything that goes into the blood and sweat and the emotional investment that has to go into winning, to allow a guy to escape that and just show up and give you his 20 to 25 or 30 on a given night on the road to help you win some games, to me, from the beginning, was insane. And then when they stepped up and said, listen, if you're not all in, we don't want you around, I saluted them, I applauded them. It sounded like they were doing it for the right reasons because they had some sort of integrity about making that decision. Like, we got to go forward with the guys that are going to be here every day, fully bought in. And I know from a coaching staff in particular, for Steve Nash, to think about having to incorporate a guy that's a ball-dominant scorer, as elite as he is, and then you get him one night, and then now you got to go play a couple games without him when you just try to figure out how to incorporate him in the first place. I knew Steve Nash didn't want any part of that. I think that played a big part into why they shut it down in the beginning. So to now just reverse course because you've hit some circumstances with a number of guys in health and safety protocols, because Kevin Durant is playing a lot of minutes right now, and you're worried about the drain on him, to reverse course on that and compromise everything that team sports are about in terms of everybody being in the same direction and pulling in the same direction, to me, it's really grotesque that you would do it now, just because you find yourself in some difficult circumstances with regard to your roster.
Yo, you're an idiot. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I genuinely was losing cells reacting to that. Steve Nash doesn't want Kyrie there. 1, 2, he ignored his own subtitle. He said Kyrie wouldn't practice with them, but the subtitle literally says, will be allowed to practice. so who's lying? And 3, an NBA level head coach. Yes, he's a new one, but an NBA level head coach. Gee, let's figure out how to coach on nights that Kyrie's there and on nights that he's not. Almost like Kyrie hasn't been there for literally 30 games.
COVID protocols, COVID problems are a real thing. Like, they're running out of players. So there's desperation around the league. Teams are signing 10-day contracts left and right. Joe Johnson is on the Celtics, bro.
I know you hate that.
Yo, we got a 25, 27 point per game score that's healthy that we can have on road games. Shit, we'll take it. That's not compromising what they believe in, bro. They need to win games. And I think, too, specifically for the Nets, they are realizing that they have a window. They have a window with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, bro. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant specifically, they're not the healthiest players out there. James Harden was an Iron Man going into last year, and he had injuries, so who knows? He still looks like he's a little bit injured, so who knows? There's a window that this team has. And for you to say that they're compromising what they believe in for something higher up, you know what I'm saying, something bigger than basketball, team sports, that sounds like something Kyrie is doing. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds like something Kyrie's doing. You guys sound a little hypocritical. I don't think this whole situation is as big as you guys are making it sound. This isn't attacking the Brooklyn Nets character. They aren't the worst organization. They don't have a backbone because of it. It's not that big of a deal. I promise you, it's not that big of a deal.
And I'm glad you brought up the word backbone, because it's like they're making it seem like a Kyrie one thing. It was no battleground. It was no dispute. Kyrie just didn't want to get vaccinated. And while I'm personally vaccinated, Benjamin is vaccinated. And look, not going there, but like, this John amping back up. That's a fact. Either way, if he believes that his best interest for his family and his life is to not get vaccinated, that was his choice, and he's living with that consequence. But it's not like he had an anti-Nets agenda. Stephen A. has always been pushing this thing of, oh, he left Kevin Durant high and dry. He doesn't care about Kevin Durant. He's not battling with KD. He's not battling with nobody in Brooklyn. This is a really weird way to twist a bad narrative on Kyrie. And I'm all for slandering players. Kyrie's not even like one of my favorite guys, but it's just like, what are you doing? What are we talking about?
If you guys like this video, if you guys want to see more dumbass Stephen A takes, go ahead and watch this video right here. And we'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace out.